Hello, and welcome back to this medieval fantasy death simulator. We're certainly going to see some medieval fantasy deaths, but also, let's see if we can actually solve a puzzle or two. Last time, the puzzle we ran into was a dragon with the good sense to stalk a corridor so that you couldn't sneak around or get a charge on him before he breathes fire on you and just kills you outright. He, she, it, I don't know. Dragons are... I don't know very much about them. Try as we might, we cannot hit the dragon from here. It is too far away, and if we move over there, we will just die. So instead, let's take items strategically, or tactically. Oh, that's a pretty good shield right there. And now we can just start looting stuff. Now, that sounds like a warning that it's about to give way, but actually, and yes, we cannot throw the spear at the dragon either, actually we just don't know how much longer the shield will last. It definitely won't last if we try to close in and fight the dragon, though, even though we have a weapon. Nope, we are stuck, hanging back. I believe in the remake it specifically says that at point blank, the fire is just too hot for your shield to withstand no matter what. Anyway, once we have the shield, we can actually take a whole bunch of things. In the original, the messages for withstanding Dragonflame kind of ramped up as you kept taking things to give you an idea of how much more shield you have left. I find it actually kind of neat that the solution to the puzzle is just right in front of you. You just have to be careful about what you pick up first. But in this game, it just says you don't know how much longer you can stand it, which is fair. It's not like you have a shield thermometer or anything. Well, we've taken everything that's really important, but let's also take the helmet. Oh, and I guess we just found out how much the shield can take. Not even your best friend could recognize your burning body? Wow. Brutal. This game has quite a few brutal death descriptions, and we're gonna see plenty of them, of course. I have to give the writer credit for the variety of the descriptions, by the way. Well, enough playing around with this game. Let's go ahead and take the shield, the hammer, the spear, and the torch. We don't necessarily need to take the torch, but it's a good idea. And by the way, you might be wondering, you can also pick up the skull and a bone as well. So if your number of shield uses is limited, what if you pick up the wrong thing and then save? That seems like it could make the game unwinnable. Also, that iron-bound chest, it's locked. So maybe we can use a key on it. Oh. So spoilers, I'm going to tell you right now, that thing is not openable. They might have intended to give you a way to open it later, but in the version of the game that we got, you just ignore it, there's nothing you can do with it. So, to answer that question I just asked, and the question that you might also have, remember how I said this room is really cold? If you go in here, your shield cools off and you can go back and take more things from the dragon's lair just in case you pick up the wrong thing. This prevents an unwinnable state. But we didn't have to do that. We picked up everything that we are likely to need. So, also, I kinda walked by that door in the first room of the castle, but we actually picked up the key pretty quickly. This is the key from the book in the next room, and we can go in now. Looks like it's an armory. And hey, in a game like this, who knows what a sword might be useful for? Now, in this game, you can equip certain things by using them on yourself, so we should probably do that with the sword. Oh. That's not equipping. Never mind, I guess it doesn't work that way with weapons. You get the same sort of description if you do that with the spear or the hammer. And yes, the game does say you thrust the hammer into your chest, which is kind of impressive, actually. In the original version, it was a little bit more, how shall I say this? It made allowances for the hammer being a blunt thing, and it says that you hit your own skull with it instead of skewering yourself with the spear or the sword. Little details. Anyway. Druidic script usually means that an item is friendly in this game. Well, let's take both of these things. We are going to need them. Although this game is fairly strict about your use of the sling. You do need a stone for it, and since this castle is kept pretty clean, finding a stone might be easier said than done. Also, let's get rid of that annoying background "you're about to die" music, because we're always about to die. We don't need a constant reminder. Well, let's see if we can solve that problem of not having any ammo for the sling. Well, that looks interesting. In video games, I think we can go by the rule of if a key exists, we are going to need it. Well, we'll come back to this room in just a minute, but first let's check what's behind it. And there we go. We've got a cave-in and a nice pile of rocks in front of it. A perfectly round stone, huh? Looks like a pretty good fit. Now this is not a puzzle. There is no tool in the game that allows you to clear the landslide. That's just a dead end. But I'll tell you what's not a dead end. Another video game rule. Always look behind waterfalls. And that's a pretty conspicuous rock right there. Yeah, we should be able to pry it off somehow. The open command doesn't work because that's like trying to open up the rock itself, but knocking it off of there, well, that's another story. And hey, this is an item that's sort of hidden in a room, but that's also hidden, so the bag is probably going to have something useful in it. Oh, we're rich! Well, okay, they're more likely to be key items, but still, always good to have key items. Well, so we've got a rock, and we've got some fancier rocks, so that's a step ahead for us. Now let's take a look at that shark-infested pool. Let's see if we can get our way to that key somehow. The pool will be suicidal? Huh. That's what you think. You can't tell me what to do. Oh. Well, okay. Wow. This game doesn't really hold back on the details, does it? But that's one of the things I love about it. So it turns out that we cannot, in fact, outswim a shark. I guess that's just one of those things that we'll have to come back to later, huh? There's always something in the way, isn't there? Well, we've explored door number 1 and door number 3, so let's check door number 2. Wow, that's a lot of coffins. Well, let's just start opening as many of them as we can. Well, the first one gave us a jump scare. I don't think that one actually does anything, or at least anything significant. This one kind of is, though. We've got some slime in our way, huh? Wait, we touched it? I just told us to look at it, not touch it. Ugh. Well, I guess if we touched it, then I guess we can go past it as well. Oh, never mind, never mind. Maybe it just kind of noticed us and grabbed us as we passed by, or something. Regardless, we've been slimed. Now, if you save the game in that room after opening the slime coffin, the slime stays, and thus you can't walk past that slime anymore. That also seems like an unwinnable state, but the developers thought about that too, don't worry. We'll get back to that. Well, that being said, things are easier for us if we don't open the slime coffin, so let's not. Excuse me. Oh, another bag. This one was a lot easier to get. That one has some copper coins in it. They are of questionable use. Oh, is this an animated mummy? Doesn't look like it. Well, it's not talking back to us, at least. But just in case, let's partake in some fiery desecration. That looks like another puzzle piece right there, although not relevant to the pool that is guarded by the shark. Oh. Well, that's interesting. So, 3 mirrors. And a couple of torches. We're probably gonna need those. And a trapdoor below us. Now, the last trapdoor didn't work so well for us, and we don't know what's down there, but we've got to experiment just in case it's a useful... Oh. I guess it's not useful for us. Well, like another exploration game says, don't jump down a hole if you don't know what's down there. I guess we kind of asked for that one. Although there was actually another room down there. Wonder how else we can get there. So that mirror throws back a fine reflection. So one of these mirrors gives a different message from the other two. That's kind of a subtle hint. Now, we can't break these mirrors with our bare hands, no matter how much we try. However, the hammer is able to do it. So let's start with the left. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions. So just to give it away, the one mirror with the different description was the correct one. But, you know what, just for fun, let's break the other wrong one and see what happens. I have bad news for you. We're in space. Now, I was surprised when we were introduced to space travel, but honestly, given the contents of, say, the Might and Magic games, or Ultima 1, or certain D&D modules, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. Well, finally, we will hit the correct mirror. Bellowing like some Norse god. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a particular Norse myth that involved a god smashing a mirror. There's a lot of unusual stuff in those myths. The door is locked, though, and we don't have the key for it, so... well, you can probably guess which key we need. Well, I think that's enough for now. We'll solve that particular puzzle next time, perhaps. Later, everybody!